Hi everyone, I'm Ahmad Bashawir Ghani, Vice Chancellor of Universiti Utara, Malaysia. Today I'll be presenting a paper entitled The Impact of COVID-19 Pandemic on Higher Education and Research, Learning from Experience and the Way Forward from perspective of Universiti Utara, Malaysia. Okay. Now, my presentation will be divided into four main contents. I'll start off my presentation by presenting a little bit of background of my presentation, and followed by our own learning experience, learning from the past. Third, campus sustainability. Fourth, the way forward, and finally, conclusion. Let me just quickly introduce or give you a bit of background of my paper. First and foremost, Malaysia, just like any other countries in the world, are somewhat affected or severely affected as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. This pandemic is basically unprecedented, unpredictable, and it has, as I said earlier, has severely affected everyone, in the world. So as a result, the government of Malaysia, we are quite fortunate, in fact. Our Malaysian government reacted swiftly by implementing the Movement Control Order, or MCO, as an urgent measure to contain the virus. So COVID-19 pandemic has affected all social and economic sectors in the country, as I said, severely. Now, in the context of higher education, universities were not spared. We were simply caught off guard, and we have to adapt to the new normality brought about by the imposition of the Movement Control Order. So, in complying with the decision order, Universiti Utara, Malaysia, for that matter, all classroom and school activities were immediately cancelled or ceased to operate. Students, by and large, has returned home back to the safety of their hometown, and staff were required to work from home. UM has taken swift action in accordance with the standard operating procedure and other guidelines issued by the respective ministry in Malaysia. So, for your information, I would like to share our approaches and experience with unprecedented health concern in maintaining and also sustaining our education and research for the future. Learning from past experience. Now, prior to the outbreak, our teaching and learning activities was basically face-to-face method, while the online learning is merely used to support the face-to-face activities. But since the early 2019, the university has embarked a quest to digitalize our campus in all aspects of our operation. Academicians have been urged to maximize the use of online classes, and with the incorporation of elements, what we term it as blended learning. Research activities have also been aligned to meet certain metrics outlined in the Sustainable Development Goal 2020, such as upgrading education, goal number 4, prudent waste management in campus, goal number 12, and afforestation for sustaining the green landscape of the campus, which is goal number 11. So in this context, the pandemic or COVID-19 is basically viewed as a blessing in disguise, for it highlighted some shortcomings in the present systems, which, as I said earlier, we were caught off guard, unprecedented, just as the specific state of preparation and readiness of the university in reacting to several past events have been studied in accordance to customize the university operation to suit and dictates of the restriction. So let me just quickly share UUM experience throughout the pandemic. Now, insofar as the technology and innovation is concerned, technology ranges from simple system to much complex system. Simple systems are often developed as a tool for learning, such as sharing document, meeting online, assessment tools, and others that are specifically developed to cater certain activities in teaching and learning. Complex system is usually developed to cater 5 domains in teaching and learning, namely designing, developing, managing, implementing, and evaluating the learning. The system is very costly indeed, It requires in-house technical commitment. It requires great maintenance and demand for great effort to sustain its functionality. Now, insofar as the innovation is concerned in teaching and learning, remote learning have been introduced at as an alternative teaching methods that could prevent students from experiencing setbacks during university's closure. Remote learning refers to any forms of learning using the internet, but without the traditional classroom face-to-face interaction, where it can be done synchronously and or asynchronously. So there are 5 principles when using the remote learning method, namely student-centered learning or SCL, revised course learning outcome, course load and student learning times, constructive alignment, and finally learners' accessibilities background. Now, again, I just want to share with you very quickly experiences. Now, experiences throughout the pandemic has been designed or aligned to our national agenda or national priority area, which can be divided further into transportation and urbanization, environment and climate change, healthcare and medicine, biodiversity, water security, food security, energy security, plantation crops, cyber security. Now, insofar as the education is concerned, we have divided further into 7 clusters: pure and applied science, technology and engineering, social science, information and communication, clinical and health sciences, arts and applied arts, natural and cultural heritage. Now, by aligning to these 2 areas, national priority area and research clusters, we have divided further or designed further into several niche areas. In our case, leadership and institutional building, business innovation and entrepreneurship, creative and media management, economic and financial services and policy, law and governance, international relations, security and regional cooperation, smart digital opportunities, which is very important in the next foreseeable future, community development and social culture, and many others. In the case of campus mobility and the way forward or past pandemic era, from the beginning of the MCO, we always advise our staff and also our students to remain calm, but to act fast and right. It's the first thing that you should do whenever you are facing with this uncertain environment. So has taken action based on prioritization and also urgency. We prioritize, focuses our tasks, and are very determined to reduce the risk that could impede all our functions. We also set up a task force for each education and research to relook so that our practices will not be interrupted and recognizes opportunity that could be leveraged. Now, these are basically a summary of what we do or we continuously to upgrade throughout the pandemic. Teaching and learning, for example, we continuously students monitoring on welfare in campus and off campus, safety, their health will be continuously ensured. Deployment of campus support and financial aids. Students will be updated regularly via portal, FB Lives, continuous engagement with students via FB Lives, and so forth, and various social media platforms are currently being utilized to ensure that our academic staff as well as our students are all well informed. And at the same time also, we will continue to upgrade our teaching and learning technology, meeting platforms by using WebEx, Zoom and whatnot, online learning platform. And also we continue to upgrade our policy on online learning or remote learning as we call it, so that we are ready to face this in the future, assuming that the pandemic will continue to affect us in 2021 onwards. And also we continue to adjust our academic calendar accordingly as and when it is required. So all lecturers are also required to redesign their classes scheme of work and also develop suitable materials and get them ready on the chosen platforms. So lecturers also start to engage the students regularly on their new classes, new timetable, to ensure that the students are well receive the education that they're supposed to receive by handling student feedbacks and running assessments virtually. Now, this during the MCO also we have developed all sorts of programs. So for example, if you can see in my slide at the bottom there, we have in fact initiated several initiatives. For example, we have developed our own Brown Shield, My Care, Brown Hand Sanitizer, online counseling services, Healthy Mind, Healthy Body campaign, 30 Face Shield, mobile app, anti-COVID hand sanitizer, COVID disinfectant, special website for staff training, teaching, providing psychological assistance, PPE ground, and so many others. For example, e-commerce community. We are also into gig economy, job hunting, for example, with major corporate sectors in Malaysia, web system, and then distribution using our QR code, and also Psycholab, entrepreneur identification profile, and finally food kit for the needs, or the food bank for the needs. Coming to my final slide, which is the way forward. I think as far as UM is concerned, it's not going to be easy for everyone. It's not going to be a quick solution, but nonetheless, we have to come up with sustainable resources, in terms of financial, infrastructure, human capital. As far as UM is concerned, we are going to invest heavily on artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, and whatnot. So this will require a little bit of financial investment, but I'm sure by doing that, we can remain focused and continue to provide a quality education to all our stakeholders, in this particular case, employers, employees, as well as our students, policies and whatnot. Improving research quantity and quality, need to capitalize the government incentives, for example, Penjana, by engaging more industrial partner and provide better solution. Also to inculcate the culture of competitiveness, the faculty and staff members, new strategic planning. We are in the midst of our to the end of our second phase of strategic planning. In 2021 January, we will be introducing or be launching our new strategic plan in line with the way forward, and maintaining quality education and accreditation. And so going to change the way that we manage the campus. For example, a specific digital learning framework been developed to assist university effectively embedded digital technologies into teaching, learning and assessment, and finally to provide strong leadership and visible direction on strategic management and leadership program, which is essential to upgrade or to upskill top management official by continuously providing with the necessary tools and techniques, the way forward as we together face this uncertainty in the form of COVID-19. So in conclusion, I would like to say that just to share that you have actions in education and research activities throughout and also post-pandemic are on track to achieve our desired goals of sustaining the campus objective despite of unpredicted threats that we are facing right now. But the most important mission or the most or key areas or key thing that we need to do now is to ensure that no one is left behind. Whether in the education and also well-being, and to enhance the university environment and ecosystem for better livings for everyone. As it's expected, the new normal will become permanent practices. I think in the future, UM is determined to ensure and all the production or to encourage more ideas and innovation throughout this impactful research to contribute to social harmony and improvise our living standard. With that, thank you very much.